Have you encountered one of them lately? Eyes staring blankly, speech rehearsed yet flat, gestures robotic, bearing the likeness of a human being but harboring no inner light. They're everywhere. Superficially normal yet inwardly hollow, like discarded mannequins animated by strings or sockets left vacant by their souls. You know the type? The simpering socialite whose every word is a barb, the droning acquaintance who never asks about you, but only weather and sports, the unfeeling executive who sees employees as mere numbers, the glassy-eyed child glued to a screen vacant and unresponsive. These shells stalk malls and schools, boardrooms and bedrooms, operating without passion or purpose. They perform humanity's roles but seem to lack genuine agency. It feels as if the Wizard of Oz has cut his ball and chain, casting lifeless automatons instead of actors. Are they vacant or void, lost or possessed? Have they sold out or been sold? The truth is stranger. What you encounter is the very structure of our world itself. For some, these soulless types signal a horror far greater than individual failings. In their dead eyes, we glimpse a conspiracy so vast and insidious that it redefines evil itself. You now stand at the edge of one of the most dangerous and fascinating thought structures ever imagined. The idea that not all people are truly people, that some among us are organic portals, hollow, reactive, and embedded into reality to keep others aligned with a hidden matrix. This suspicion threads through ancient myths and modern memes alike. From Plato's cave and the Gnostic archons to simulation thinkers and the viral NPC caricature, and it surfaces again and again because it answers a particular, unsettling feeling that some eyes look back with nothing inside. But this theory is no laughing matter. When it takes root in your mind, the world shifts. Every interaction carries an undercurrent of dread. Do they see me? Are they listening? Do they think? A constant game of 20 questions becomes the default mode of relating, making each exchange stilted and fraught. The fear of being identified, categorized, shepherded like cattle slowly morphs into paranoid fantasy. Everyone becomes an agent, everyone a pawn, and no one authentic. Any dissent or difference is extinguished mercilessly. The conformist majority is the enemy. Artists, intellectuals, and mavericks face the worst of it. Accused of being NPCs themselves, their work demonized as provocations designed to disrupt the sleep of normies and wake them up. All this can be disorienting and exhausting. So how do we sort through it? How do we uncover the roots of this idea? And where does it lead when taken to its logical extreme? Let's find out. The concept of soulless imitators has deep roots. In ancient Gnosticism, fallen angels known as archons were believed to rule humanity, their soulless bodies inhabiting the earthly realm while their true forms soared above in the heavens. Plato's allegory of the cave describes prisoners chained since birth, mistaking shadows for reality. Both ideas capture the notion of humanity as interface, a layer between a higher truth and a base material existence. But the most pertinent parallels come from the internet's folklore. Over time, the term non-player character or NPC has leaked from online games into wider culture. Originally, NPCs were coded computer-generated characters in virtual worlds lacking self-awareness and following pre-programmed scripts. As the metaverse beckoned, many began to see such soulless figures mirroring not just fellow gamers, but all of humanity, adrift in a hyper-real digital landscape devoid of meaning or soul. From there, the idea mutated, becoming sinister and conspiratorial. Some started ascribing malicious intent, imagining these NPCs as deliberately programmed by shadowy forces seeking total control over human minds. This perceived plot thickened when countless viral videos appeared detailing odd behaviors exhibited by everyday people. Staring blankly, repeating stock phrases, gesticulating oddly. Each clip labeled with the same verdict. NPC, the conspiracy theorists had a name for this phenomenon, living nodes or organic non-player characters. Their theory held that these beings served as anchors tethering the population to the matrix, their empty eyes reflecting a lack of selfhood, a body inhabited by cold, calculating intelligences bent on molding the masses into docile automatons. At first glance, this belief seems the province of cranks and cultists. But scratch the surface and we find unnerving parallels with philosophies espoused by some of Science fiction's greatest innovators. William Gibson's neuromancer introduced the term cyberspace and cyberpunk as signature aesthetic of high-tech and low-life. His visions of the future are shot through with a sense of corporate corruption, technological determinism, and human beings enfolded into a vast network. While Aldous Huxley's Brave New World imagines a dystopia of the future where happiness is manufactured through technology, genetic engineering, and social conditioning. Here, humans have become products, their individuality sacrificed for stability and control. George Orwell's 1984 paints an even bleaker picture. Its telescreens and thought police evoke a world where free will is an illusion and the individual completely subject to the machinations of an all-seeing state. These classics of speculative fiction explore themes of manipulation, control, and the sacrifice of the self to a greater machine, echoing the fears animating the NPC theory. What then of the theory's claims regarding soullessness? How plausible is the idea that some individuals are hollowed out by design? On the surface, it sounds far-fetched. Yet Jungian psychology offers a potential explanation. The concept of projection posits that we place aspects of ourselves onto others, often without conscious awareness. People embodying traits we find threatening or unacceptable may trigger our unconscious projections, leading us to misperceive them as wholly negative. Our fear then confirms the projection, solidifying our conviction that these individuals genuinely lack empathy, agency, or authenticity. But what of those who profess to see only scripts, gears, and sockets? Here, dissociation offers a possible lens. Prolonged exposure to trauma can lead to a defensive psychological state where the mind separates from the body and emotions. Victims may seem unresponsive and vacant, mirroring the behavior of NPCs. Does this mean the theory is scientifically valid? Not quite. Though psychological defenses exist, they do not negate human agency or essence. People may appear disconnected, but their responses are still shaped by thoughts and feelings buried beneath the surface. Moreover, attributing soullessness to dissociation ignores the root causes of trauma, which could be alleviated through therapy, support, and understanding. Still, the theory's hold on the imagination is undeniable. Why does it resonate so strongly? Because at its core it answers an age-old existential question. Faced with the possibility that our lives lack inherent meaning, we grasp for explanations. Conspiracy theories provide a comforting illusion of order amidst chaos. By identifying a hidden puppet master, we relinquish personal responsibility, laying blame squarely at the feet of a sinister force beyond our control. In this worldview, we are merely pawns freed from the burden of forging our own paths in a meaningless universe. But what happens when we embrace this freedom? When we abandon hope, meaning, and hope, we risk dehumanizing ourselves. By viewing all other humans as instruments of a dark design, we reduce ourselves to their level. Empathy, compassion, and understanding, the hallmarks of our species, are cast aside in favor of cynicism, mistrust, and fear. The very qualities that made us uniquely human wither away, leaving only a husk animated by base desires and instincts. Instead of confronting the ambiguity and uncertainty of existence, we retreat into a false certainty, forsaking connection, warmth, and vulnerability. This tendency is exacerbated by the Internet's algorithmic amplification of extreme viewpoints. Social media platforms incentivize outrage and polarization. By framing the world as a battle between good and evil, us versus them, creators cultivate an echo chamber where nuance and empathy are drowned out by fear-mongering and dehumanization. Any deviation from the groupthink is met with harsh rebukes, driving out complexity and critical thinking. In this climate, facts are twisted, sources are discredited, and appeals to emotion take center stage. Any glimmer of doubt is extinguished ruthlessly, leaving only a scorched landscape of black and white certainties. But here, a counter-narrative emerges. Rather than succumbing to the temptation of easy certainties, we can choose a different path. What if instead of fearing and rejecting those who seem vacant, we approach them with curiosity and compassion? Might there be more to their vacant stares than soullessness? Could it be possible that their eyes betray not an absence of self, but a dormancy waiting for awakening? What if behind the mask of the NPC lurks not a robot, but a fellow traveler lost in the wilderness of the soul? Embracing this possibility requires courage and empathy. It means confronting our own biases and fears, acknowledging the darkness within us, and seeking the light in others. If we truly believe that everyone is an instrument of a sinister plot, we risk becoming the very thing we despise: fearful, reactive, and disconnected. Instead, let us choose a different ending to this story, one where compassion triumphs over cynicism, understanding conquers fear, and empathy bridges the divide. Your life hangs in the balance. Will you allow this idea to become a cage that isolates you, cutting you off from the beauty and messiness of actual human relationships, or will it be the key that deepens your responsibility to awaken to your own light? The choice, as always, is yours. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, consider joining our community for exclusive content and early access. Your support allows us to keep exploring the depths of consciousness and the mysteries of the human experience.